I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy.
Throughout the closing session, TOPRAK appeared increasingly attuned to the character of Yamaha's new bike. His corner entry, mid-corner speed, and even throttle exit showed significant improvements. Yamaha's technical team continued to collect data from each lap, and initial analysis showed that TOPRAK's aggressive riding style was now being maximized by the new V4 package. The biggest highlight came not only from the lap times, but also from the telemetry collected throughout the day. The data showed improvements in braking area, corner exit acceleration, and bike stability when entering fast sections. This has been Yamaha's primary goal in developing the 850 cubic centimeters V4 engine. With the Pirelli tires used during testing, the bike's character appeared significantly more stable, allowing TOPRAK to ride with confidence. Several sources in the paddock even reported that Yamaha engineers were very satisfied when comparing the final day's data with the results of previous tests. The time gap in several sectors was significantly reduced, while lap consistency improved drastically. This indicated that Yamaha's development direction was on the right track. TOPRAK himself continued to ask for more laps before the session ended. He returned to the track several times after making minor adjustments to the bike's setup. His primary focus was finding the best balance between the V4 engine's power, the Pirelli tire characteristics, and the bike's weight distribution. The results were quite surprising, as almost every change resulted in a more positive response. Most striking was how the telemetry showed an increase in speed when exiting slow corners. This area has for years been one of Yamaha's weaknesses compared to its rivals. However, in the final test in Valencia, the data showed the bike's acceleration was approaching the target the Japanese engineers had set. Here's the full news. The final day of Yamaha's private test at the Valencia circuit was a truly transformative moment in the Japanese team's garage. After several days of intensive testing, TOPRAK Razgatlioglu finally demonstrated a performance that led many to believe that the Yamaha V4 850 cubic centimeters project was moving in a very promising direction. While the previous days had focused primarily on gathering data and understanding the characteristics of the new bike, it was in this final session that all that hard work began to show tangible results. As soon as the sun began to shine on the Valencia track, TOPRAK took to the track with one clear goal: to complete Yamaha's entire development program before the official test ended. There was no pressure to publicly chase the fastest time. Yet, every lap he completed was far more significant than just a position on the results sheet. Every brake, every throttle, every change in direction were recorded by hundreds of electronic sensors, generating thousands of pieces of telemetry data for Yamaha engineers to analyze. What made this final day so special was the immediate change in the bike's character that TOPRAK could feel. Compared to the start of testing, the V4 850 cubic centimeters bike was now much easier to control when entering both fast and slow corners. Throttle response felt smoother, power distribution more stable, and the rear end of the bike provided better traction when exiting corners. This progress wasn't the result of a single new component. Over the 3 days of testing, Yamaha continuously tried various setup combinations, from electronic configuration, engine mapping, weight distribution, aerodynamic refinements, to small changes to the suspension and bike geometry. All these changes were then compared using highly detailed telemetry to determine which configuration truly improved performance. TOPRAK himself is known as a rider with a keen sense of bike behavior. His years of experience in World SBK have given him the ability to sense even the slightest changes. When he returned to the garage, he didn't just say the bike felt better or worse. He was able to describe in detail where the bike lost grip, when the tires started to lose performance, how braking characteristics changed, and even how the engine responded when opening the throttle at certain points. This kind of feedback is invaluable to Yamaha. The engineers then matched TOPRAK's comments with the telemetry data displayed on the computer screen. Interestingly, almost all of the Turkish riders' input matched the data recorded by the bike. This made the development process much faster than before. The biggest highlight, of course, came from the telemetry data on braking. Yamaha saw that TOPRAK was able to maintain a higher speed before braking compared to previous simulations. Furthermore, brake lever pressure was more consistent from one lap to the next. This meant the bike's stability when entering corners had significantly improved. Furthermore, the acceleration graph also showed very positive developments. When exiting slow corners, the bike was able to transfer power to the rear wheel more efficiently. Wheel spin was reduced, traction was increased, and speed was increased more quickly compared to the initial test data. This area has for years been one of Yamaha's biggest challenges when competing against rival V4 engine bikes. In the fast-paced sections, the progress was also quite impressive. The bike appeared much more stable at high speeds. Front-end vibration was reduced, while aerodynamic balance helped TOPRAK maintain a more precise racing line. This allowed the rider to carry greater speed into the next braking zone. The Pirelli tires used in the test were also a crucial factor. The characteristics of these tires provided a different sensation than the packages he had previously tried. Mechanical grip felt more consistent throughout the long session, allowing TOPRAK to test various bike configurations without being hampered by rapid tire performance degradation. This data was crucial for Yamaha as they prepared for the new 850 cubic centimeters MotoGP regulations. As the afternoon approached, TOPRAK's rhythm became more stable. Almost all of his laps were within a very close time frame. This kind of consistency is precisely what the engineers prefer over a single, extremely fast, but difficult to repeat lap. This is how they can see how the bike performs in a real race simulation. The atmosphere inside the Yamaha garage began to change. While at the beginning of the test, the mechanics were busy dismantling and reassembling various components, towards the end of the session, they spent more time in front of computer screens. Graph after graph was compared with previous data. Every sector was analyzed. Every small change was studied. Initial results showed that Yamaha's latest package had delivered improvements in almost every key area. Although Yamaha didn't release official lap times to the public, some in the paddock began discussing TOPRAK's speed throughout the final day. Many considered his performance far more competitive than expected before the test began. Some even suggested that Yamaha was now starting to find the right foundation for developing their V4 bike for the 2027 MotoGP project. However, Yamaha's work was far from over. The data collected in Valencia would be brought back to headquarters in Japan for further in-depth analysis. From there, the engineers would determine which components were worth retaining, which needed revision, and which developments should be prioritized for the next test. One thing was undeniable: the final day of the Valencia test brought renewed optimism to the entire Yamaha project. TOPRAK's speed, consistent lap times, and the quality of the telemetry collected provide invaluable resources for continuing the development of the 850 cubic centimeters V4. Now the paddock's attention will turn to the next test. Everyone is eager to see if the improvements seen in Valencia can be maintained on a circuit with a different character. If the answer is yes, then Yamaha has the potential to be one of the biggest surprises when the 850 cubic centimeters MotoGP era officially begins. And if this progress continues, it's not impossible that Toprak Razgatlioglu's name will be remembered as the rider who helped change the course of Yamaha's future. The final day of testing in Valencia may have been just a test session, but the remarkable telemetry data sent a strong message to the entire paddock. Yamaha is beginning to find its way back to competing at the front.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.